All right, that Storm 5 alert continues,
Sure
and
does.
it's a busy afternoon for a lot of folks.
You know, and the problem is it's after dark now.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got very heavy rain. Waterways are swollen. You saw Cena. You've seen Henry's live reports. When you are on the leading edge of this, it is coming down. The storms are also howling. The big thing I want to drive home for folks is damaging straight line wind along that leading edge. That's going to come at highway speed.
Right.
So don't wait for it. If that's ahead of you, and we're going to show you who's under the gun next, just get into that interior space. Take us with you on your phones, your smart devices, and we're going to get you through this. Now, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We also have flood warnings. Heather has the latest on that over at the smart screen.
Yes, we do have flash flood warnings in effect for some of our northern counties. That includes Trigg, Christian, and Todd. That is going to go until 10 o'clock tonight. So even though the leading edge of this line is through that area, we still have a shield of rain back behind it where we are currently seeing flooding occurring in those counties. Now, where we do have the strongest storms right now is going to be for areas south of Interstate 40. It's the yellow boxes that you're currently seeing. Those severe thunderstorm warnings are out along this leading edge, and this is actually where we have had some reports of damage already. Lawrence County, Giles County, we are getting word in that trees are potentially down in that area, specifically around 5 Points. We have had reports of power outages and power lines that have been knocked down. Winds are incredibly strong with this, and that is what has prompted this severe thunderstorm warning, but we're also concerned with some broad rotation in this area. This is just to the east side of Petersburg and getting closer into Flat Creek. In fact, it's right along Highway 231 right now. This is where we have been keeping a very close eye on the potential of some rotation with this. Right now, we are not under a tornado warning, but we will continue to watch that. Now, just north of that warning, we do have a very strong line of thunderstorms that is currently moving across Watertown right now. It is pushing into Smith and DeKalb County and just exiting the Rutherford County area. While we're not under a severe thunderstorm warning here, we have had reports, at least in the Rutherford County area, of some trees that are down there as well. It just goes to show how strong the winds are with this, and with our ground being so saturated, Bree, you've mentioned it doesn't take much to knock over those trees through the rest of the night.
You know, and a week ago tonight, we had a handful of tornadoes come across the area, but we also had significant damaging straight line wind, and straight line wind impacts a larger area than often areas of brief rotation. So where we have these severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, take that seriously. And if you're ahead of it or knew someone that was going to be traveling along Interstate 24, get off the road. You don't want to drive through this. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with this system as it moves, the leading edge of it as it moves. Of course, flooding also a significant concern as well. Light green, flood watches. It means watch out. Dark green, flood warning. Flooding is happening. So the greatest wind threat is along that leading edge. It's being propelled by a cold front. As Heather just showed you, we're keeping a very close eye on the southern flank of this storm system because that's where we've had reports of damage. That large sort of area that you see here that looks like heavy rain, embedded within this has been the concern. It's a very strong storm. That's what led to the damage across Giles and southern parts of Lawrence County. Now, it doesn't look like much, but this leading part right here where my hand is, that's where we likely have some strong straight line winds that are getting wrapped around the backside of the storm system. The other thing I'm noticing is we're starting to see some lightning increase with the southern flank. Often an increase in the electrification of a storm is an indication of an intensification of a storm. There are more severe weather ingredients across our southern tier. So as far as who needs to be alert now, it's from Shelbyville down towards Petersburg. Who needs to be alert next? Tullahoma. Anywhere along Interstate 24 across parts of Coffee County, this stretches down, of course, Franklin, more Lincoln. This is moving right through your doorstep. Here's a look at some timing just for the southern flank. So it's not the individual cell, but this is the southern flank. That puts it into Tullahoma right around 6:30. That's when these warnings are set to expire. Wouldn't be surprised if they get extended the further east they go. Here's a storm track on just that cell. So it's moving closer to Tullahoma, 6:30, 6:35 at best. Don't wait for that. Get down into that interior space now. Manchester closer to 6:45. Now the northern part of this, it doesn't have that same rotational quality to it, but we're still keeping an eagle eye on it. 40 to 50-mile-per-hour winds are possible along the leading edge. We do have reports of trees down now in Murfreesboro. Typically we get those reports after the storm has already gone through. So for folks that are ahead of this, Woodbury over towards part of Smith County, DeKalb County, get inside, interior room, take us with you. Same thing all along I-40 across parts of Putnam County. It doesn't have quite the same oomph across Clay, Jackson and Overton, but we're still looking at 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. Ground is saturated. Trees will go quickly. Heavy rain is also filling in on the back side of it. While the rainfall rates on the back side of the leading edge are not as efficient as the front edge, this is when runoff and rainfall combine together. So this can often be where that flooding does reach a maximum. Bottom line, Storm 5 alert isn't over until midnight tonight, so stay safe. As far as the wind with it, you can pick out that front. It's starting to wrap around the backside. Wind's a touch lighter on the backside of it. Sustained ahead of it, it's around 20 to 30 miles per hour. That's outside of the storms. So that will continue to weaken some trees, potentially bringing down additional power lines tonight. Timing has it moving into the western edge of the Cumberland Plateau right around 7 o'clock. Starting to exit our eastern tier closer to the 9 to 10 o'clock time frame. Unfortunately, we'll still have some showers, even some moderate downpours through daybreak on Thursday. This has been an exhausting last couple days, and we're really sort of at the end of this setup, so don't put your guard down just yet. It'll be much cooler on the backside of it. It'll also be much drier. Low 40s tonight. We're talking mid 40s tomorrow, but it won't feel like that. It's going to feel like the 30s. That wind chill is going to have some bite to it. We are bone dry Friday. Saturday, a few light showers on Sunday. So Heather, there is clearly some hope on the horizon, but we've got to really stay vigilant, especially across our southern tier.
Absolutely. And of course, as rain continues to fall, we do have Storm 5 Titan out tracking not only the threat to sea flooding, but I know, Henry, you've been in Rutherford County, and that is where we have just gotten new reports of some damage, some trees that are coming down. Tell us where you are right now and what you're seeing on the roads.
Well, Heather, we got back onto I-24, but right after we joined you at the very beginning of the newscast, we started to get wind gusts that were around 50 miles per hour. Back on 24 heading east, I want to point something out. All the cars in front of me with your hazards on, folks, if you can't see, you need to get off the road. Do not try and drive in this. This is also, in the state of Tennessee, it is illegal to have your hazards on driving in the rain. The only legal purpose for hazards to be on is actually for an emergency situation. So it is against the law in the state of Tennessee to do that. Take a look at I-24. The rain just pounding I-24, and it's coming in sheets. It almost looks like snowdrifts just blowing across the road. Intense rainfall. We are just northwest of Beech Grove on I-24, and we are going to continue to go along this line and bring you the very latest throughout the rest of this newscast and News Channel 5 at 6:30 as well. For now, in Storm 5 Titan along I-24, I'm meteorologist Henry Rothenberg. Vicki, we're going to send it back inside to you.